Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. But more than anything else, thank you so much. Let's welcome 2025 together. So, here's wishing each and everyone out there a very happy new year. And we hope that this year brings a lot of joy, prosperity, and new opportunities for all of you. And to all our loyal viewers and supporters, thank you for being with us, as we kick off another exciting year of discussions. Absolutely, here on Immigration and Jobs Talk Show on immigration and employment issues right here. So, thank you so much for joining us once again, folks out there. I am Napasa Pradhan. And before we head off, I need to read out this disclaimer, and that is by watching our videos, you understand that the information shared, including user comments, is not professional advice. Use at your own risk. And our intention is never to offend, it's just a casual exchange of ideas. So, yes, this is Daily Immigration Dose. And, this is a show which I host with my co host, Sam. So, hi, Sam, and a very happy new year to you too. How are you doing?
Hello, Nipasa. Happy New Year to you too, and to all our lovely viewers who have joined us today. And I hope 2025 brings a healthy, wealthy year ahead. And I think let's make this year full of new opportunities and exciting adventures also. So I think, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful year ahead. And wishing to all our lovely viewers, and their loved ones also a wonderful year ahead. And with that, we have a very different topic today. So I would like Napasa to you go ahead and please proceed.
Sure thing, Sam. And yes, this year I'm very thrilled to start off, with this topic that's making waves in the immigration debate, not just in the US, but globally. Yes, tonight, we are diving into a question that's sparking a lot of curiosity why Donald Trump, the president elect, is taking a strong stance in favor of Indian immigrants, particularly in the context of the H-1B visa program. And what's behind this unexpected strategy, and what does it mean for, immigration policies in 2025? It's going to be very fascinating as we discuss today. So please stay with us. And I would also like to tell you that, you can join us in this discussion by dialing this number on the screen. All you have to do is dial 425 and the access code is 988 888. And once you're in, you just say hello, we will be able to hear you. So, yes, today's topic of discussion. Trump's alignment with Indian professionals and tech leaders like Elon Musk has certainly raised eyebrows, especially considering his previously restrictive stance on immigration. And really, it's going to be uh, very, very interesting as we discuss today. What do you say, Sam?
Absolutely. I think this is going to be very interesting because, some people in US, they believe that foreign workers are taking jobs from Americans, and Trump also sees things very differently this time. So I think it's going to be a very interesting topic to discuss on. And also, for the first term, also, we have seen that how Trump has actually put everything aside. Like he was not completely against, but he was on the thing that America first, and this time also. And in his first term, we also have seen that he reduced 24% of visa approvals, that was particularly of H1B in fiscal year 2018. So now he is in favor of H1B workers, and now he is trying to have and produce more opportunities for H1B workers. So it's going to be a very interesting one, and it's going to be a very informative session as well. So let's dive in, and it would be great viewers to, have your point of views also, have your perception as well. So go ahead and click on the number that is visible on the screen, or you can also share your thoughts on the comment section. So yeah, that's all.
Sure thing, Sam. And before we head on to the discussion and the topic of discussion, we got some news updates. And to start off, New Year's Eve celebrations in the US was overshadowed by a devastating act of terror in New Orleans, where at least 15 people lost their lives and 30 others were injured in a brutal attack. And the tragedy has raised concerns about public safety and counterterrorism measures in the country. Former CIA officer Glenn Carlisle, Glenn Carley weighed in, suggesting that while the attacks do not appear to be coordinated, they could inspire individuals aligned with grievances, tied to radical ideologies, particularly ISIS. So this incident has sparked nationwide discussions on security measures as well and the ongoing challenge of balancing public safety with constitutional rights. So this is one main concern, and another one, of course, you know, this is also with regard to violence. So the New Orleans attack, adding more to it, a 42-year-old U.S. Army veteran, Shamsuddin Jabbar, drove a truck into crowds in New Orleans, killing 15 and injuring over 30. Police identified ISIS inspiration behind the attack, and the FBI is investigating possible accomplice. And Tesla Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas is another one. A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside Trump International Hotel, killing one and injuring seven. Authorities suspect a bomb was placed in the vehicle's bed, and this also they're trying to link it to the New Orleans attack. We don't know. So far, we will update you more if there is more news on this one. And there's another one that is Queens nightclub shooting injures 10. So gunmen fired at a group outside a nightclub in Queens, New York, injuring six women and four men. Over 30 shots were fired before the assailants fled, and police ruled out terrorism in this incident. So it's been crazy and a lot of violence-filled start to the year, I would say. But yeah, that's that. And Sam, if you have more news updates.
Absolutely. I also would like to cover this very big news about New Orleans that Nepasa, you have just mentioned about the truck attack that declared act of terrorism. And with that, there was also Donald Trump and his Republican views are also there. So I would like to shed light on that. So if we follow Donald Trump and his Republican, then they have utilized the New Orleans terrorist attack to criticize President Joe Biden's immigration policies, that too, especially, in final weeks of his presidency. So they argue that the incident in which 15 people died and a Tesla Cybertruck also explosion in Las Vegas illustrate a surge in crime that can only be addressed by Trump's new national security team and strict immigration enforcement. Also, Trump says and claimed this on social media that the New Orleans attacker was an immigrant, and though authorities also identified the suspect as a US military veteran inspired by ISIS. So, moving ahead with another breaking news that is from Queens, New York. So, Queens, New York, there at least 10 people were shot with 3 to 4 gunmen opened fire outside the nightclub in Jamaica, and where a private event was taking place Wednesday night. So it's a very shocking news that took place. In fact, the New York City Police Department also reports that victims there were 6 females and 4 males that were expected to survive. Authorities are still investigating the motive of the shooting, and while they are considering a potential gang link, so there is no indication of any terrorist involvement till now. Also, around 11 p.m., what happened that police received multiple 911 calls about the gunfire. And witnesses said that approximately 90 people were there who were inside the venue, with 15 more waiting outside. So that's when the suspects, believed to be in their teens to early 20s, and approached the group standing outside and opened fire. Around 30 shots were fired and at least 10 people were struck. So police are continuing their investigation, but no arrests have been made so far. In fact, NYPD Chief of Transportation also expressed a very strong disapproval, stating that there's a zero tolerance for these senseless shootings and those responsible for this crime will be apprehended and brought to justice. So I think these two were very important news to discuss in a bit detail. That's why we took this similar incidents that needs to be addressed in a detail about it. So I think after going with the news update, now it's time to jump into our today's topic that we are going to discuss on. That is, why is Donald Trump supporting Indian workers when it comes to immigration, and what's behind the strategy? So yeah, I think now without any further ado, let's directly talk about the debate that is all about. So we all know, friends, that immigration has always been a very big issue and a very hot topic in the US. And recently, the topic of H-1B visas has been a big part of the conversation. So we all know what H-1B allows. H-1B allows the US workers, US companies to hire highly skilled workers from other countries, and many of those workers are from India. In fact, it has been estimated that 70% of H-1B visas have been approved from India. So Indians are huge in H-1B beneficiaries, and that's what is making a concern for American workers. So, people are thinking that what about their jobs get struggle, or what about their visas, or anything that is not appropriate for them is going to harm them. So there are different fields like software engineering and data science also where the Indians are best at. And that's what, Americans are being a little insecure about it because there are 70% of H-1B workers are mostly from Indians. So I think it is a very great achievement. It's a very big compliment also, but that's what a topic of debate right now, especially in Trump's administration. And also, if we talk about another program that is called OPT, Optional Practical Training, then this is for foreign students, mostly from India, who wants to study and work in the US after graduation. So it helps them to gain work experience, and especially, if they studied something like engineering, science, or technology. So basically for tech companies. And here's something very interesting that Donald Trump, who is known for being very tough on immigration, is actually showing support for Indian workers and the H-1B visa program. So I think this is for the very first time that Trump is very much open about his support, open about his favoring in for Indian workers and the H-1B visa program. And this is quite surprising to some people because Trump was very much strict about immigration when he was president during his first year. And it also understood that, during his first year, he actually reduced 24% of visa approvals in fiscal year 2018. So, with that, we could understand and we could also estimate that Trump was actually against of H-1B workers, but this time he is actually favoring it. So
Mhm.
the debate is all about, Nepasa, that some people, particularly MAGA headliners, are saying that these programs are hurting American workers. And on the other hand, the business leaders and mostly the entrepreneurs or the policymakers, they are actually in favor of the H-1B workers. So it's like the two groups are fighting for H-1B workers, and the other group is supporting the H1 is against the H-1B workers. So now the debate is all about this. And what would you like to add on this, Nepasa?
Yes, adding to that, I mean, talking about the debate, since it's making, I mean, this news is spreading like wildfire, and people have so many opinions, so much to say about Trump's new ideals, especially on this H-1B visa. So whether it's balancing immigration or jobs or the MAGA ideals, just like you mentioned. So, talking about immigration controversy, which is rekindled, yes, Donald Trump has reignited the debates, over immigration policies, particularly the H-1B program. And in his bid for a second term, he emphasizes the need for, competent and smart professional to maintain America's technology edge, right? Trump faces opposition from MAGA as well. And MAGA has been advocating to reduce, sorry, to reduce foreign workforce dependency, right? But then we heard about Trump saying that let's do merit-based immigration, which he directly or indirectly means that he needs immigrants who are very intelligent, for American economy to be where it is still. Otherwise, it's going to suffer. That's what he has been saying. And talking about the same thing again, H-1B visa policies, they have been tightened under Trump. During his first term, H-1B visa rejection, just like you mentioned, the rates had reached a record high of 24% in 2018 compared to Obama's administration's, which was like 5 to 8%, and Biden's just 2 to 4. And the stricter policies were part of Trump's efforts to, prioritize American workers and reduce reliance on foreign labor. But they also raise concerns about the impact on immigration and global competitiveness. So that's another thing. And we have Elon Musk, who backs reforms to H-1B program. You know, of course, he is an ally to Trump with with streamlining U.S. bureaucracy. You know, he supports reforms to the H-1B visa program, and Musk argues for focusing on high quality foreign professionals to fill critical vacancies while investigating in American talent development as well.
Yeah.
So, this approach aims to balance economic needs with political pressures from MAGA proponents. And then we have India's role as a key talent provider, which is so true, right? Indian
Hmm.
professionals have historically been the largest beneficiaries in the H-1B visa program, just like you mentioned a little earlier, Sam. You know, they have been making the issue a frequent topic in US India government to government dialogues. And,
Yeah.
you know, restrictions have tightened. But then India has pursued, you know, migration and mobility agreements with Western nations to facilitate smoother movements of, you know, skilled workforce. And it's true, you know, we see I mean, intelligent Indians, you know, doing really great in many fields out there. And
Yeah.
that is why this debate has also risen. And there have been so many comments passed that, you know, they are supporting Indians, but it's not, they're trying not to see that they're actually supporting, you know, highly skilled or highly qualified or people who are really, really good at their field of work, sorry.
Hmm.
And then we have, you know, the balancing act, of course, the MAGA ideals versus economic competitiveness. Trump's evolving stance on immigration highlights the challenge of aligning MAGA ideologies with the need for skilled global talent. While advocating for American job creation, he also acknowledges that international expertise remain crucial to maintain the US's technological leadership.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, we also have Ramaswamy, right? And we have Haley clash, you know, both Ramaswamy and Haley, they clash over immigration views. So, yes, Ramaswamy has been criticizing American culture for, you know, venerating mediocrity, and Nikki Haley has been defending the American workforce, saying that, you know, their public spat underscores the broader tension surrounding skilled immigration and its impact on the US economy and society. So I think it's been mixed what people are feeling out there. But yes, thank you so much, folks, you know, for commenting. Also, we have Sakshi and Lokesh who have commented on YouTube. We are going to read them quickly very soon. Just stay with us. But I would like to say, why don't you call us up in this number? It'll be really nice to have you join us in this discussion, and we can hear your point of views. You know, so call us on this number 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988-888. And once you dial in, you just say hello. We will be able to hear you.
Absolutely. And also, Napasa, I think you understood everything. You made us understand about the topic. But, here is something that I'm still thinking that if we look upon the previous history of US, if we especially talk about the H1B workers, so the far right groups, they are against, completely against for the H1B workers. So they are not in favor for the H1B workers right now. And if we also talk about the policymakers or the entrepreneurs or mostly the people who are leading the tech industry in US, so they actually know the value of the H1B workers. They know what H1B workers are bringing to their nation because they are the highly skilled workers and they are the most the brilliant minds, we can say, from that particular nation. But you know what the saddest part is that even the H1B workers are getting paid less as compared to the actual American workers in US companies. So this is one of the saddest part and one of the fact, that we all know, but still it's something that still, the Elon Musk or the entrepreneurs or the famous people, the famous business people, they are in favor of H1B workers. So I think some on the other, it's I won't say it's very much good for the Indians or it's very much benefiting Indians because H1B workers, even if they are going to US and working, then also they have to compromise with the salaries. They are getting less pay as compared to the US workers. And the other hand, the far right group, they are completely against for the H1B workers. So I think this is a bit controversial thing, and this is not exactly like a win-win situation for Indians. It's a very tough and a very struggling phase for Indians. So I think this is also something that we should talk about. So Anipasa, what do you think about it? I mean, how is it benefiting Indians? I mean, because some on the other, I can see that it's not actually harming, but it's also not getting so much benefiting, to Indian workers. So, what are your points on this?
I think what I can say is getting paid in American dollars is still, I mean, a lot for, I mean, though it's not fair, if they were Americans, they would be paid more, I mean, from what you say. But I think I'm not very sure to comment on it, but not in, I don't know so much about this. But since you're saying maybe because getting paid in American dollars is still a lot, when it comes to Indian money, right?
Right.
So I think that way, or I don't know what is it that, which percentage and why is it cut off from, their deserving salary? Are there taxes, or is there some other reason, or it's just because they're just not Americans that they're not paid as much as Americans would be paid in that field or in that position of work, right?
There
So
can be
I
many reasons. Yeah, of course. We don't know exactly why they're getting less paid or what is the reason behind it, but there can be many reasons. Discrimination can also be the reason. Maybe they are not very well skilled as compared to the American workers. So there can be certain reasons, but if the majority of Indian workers are not getting paid equally as compared to the US workers, then it uh, creates a kind
I
of a
think,
question.
I think accepting what they're getting is saying that I'm okay with whatever you're paying. But if they stood together and they would actually protest that they are not getting what they deserve, or, they're getting less than what they should, maybe
Mhm.
then there could be some option, or there could be some clarity on what is happening. But
Right.
accepting and saying, okay, that means they're all okay, and there's no argument on that, right?
And I think Indians are very much adjustable. They are trying to, I mean, they always try to compromise. They are not very much into that they need this, they need that. They're okay with the essential things. So I think that's what, the US people also know. And that's what, I mean, it's nothing bad about it because it's a step. That's how you will try to grow by taking each step. And each step has a different value, but this is also something that's happening. So it's nothing like if the H1B workers are thinking that if they'll get the job in US, so they'll have wonderful life there. There's still some very struggling part also that you need to go through, and that's what we are here for, to make you aware of each and every details, each and every factual things that's happening in US. So yeah, I think that's very important for our viewers to know about it. So yeah, I think yeah, let's move ahead. And I would also like to talk about Nepasa, that why people are against this debate, why people are against H1B workers. So now I would like to talk about the mega supporters, why they are against it. So they firstly think that there will be a job loss for Americans because they believe, if they are going to allow more foreign workers to come and work in the US, so some on the other, the outsiders, the foreign people are going to take away their jobs from Americans, and especially new college graduates who are entering into the job market. So they argue that companies who prefer to hire foreign workers through programs like OPT or H1B is because these workers are often willing to work for lower wages, as that what I mentioned right now. So yeah, I think this can be one of the reason for why Mega is against for H1B and OPT.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think, is there any other thing, Nepasa, that you would like to add on, or any other reason that why people are against H1B workers?
Well, I think you've very rightly put, make America great again. The MAGA movement, they have been closely associated with Donald Trump, and they represent, a spectrum of conservative and nationalist ideologies. They really want to emphasize on American sovereignty and economy, independence, cultural identity, America, 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 right? And it stands on the H-1B visa program, and skilled immigration is really multifaceted. So whether it's influenced, it's influenced by different goals, you can say. Prioritizing American workers, like you mentioned, and even reducing perceived external dependencies. They feel like they have been depending too much on people from other countries, so they want to see how can they work just within the Americans. I think
Absolutely.
that is one reason. So yeah.
And I think other reason can also be, a national security concern, because a few days back only, in fact, now today also, we have went through so many cases, that is happening right now, and not only in US but outside the US as well. So people are understanding that there are so much crime, so much, violent activities, illegal activities are going around. So Mega is also thinking in this perception as well, that they are having too many foreign workers, especially for technology industries. So this could pose a kind of national security risk also, because it gives access to, sensitive information to people who are also not a US citizens. So sharing those sensitive information to not even a US citizen can also be a quite threat to their national security. So I don't think that Mega is completely wrong here, because
No, not
how
at
the
all.
scenario is here in US right now. I think most of the people are scared of. They are very much concerned that what's going to happen in the upcoming year. So being little concerned about, and being little skeptical about the H-1B workers, or even the immigrants, basically, I think that can
It's
also put
only
up a
right. Yeah, it's very right, actually. Why would they not be concerned, right? So much is happening. And for all these years, since forever, America has had so many immigrants. And of course, earlier the problems were lesser, I guess, and now there are so much more, so frequent. And or is it because of the media coverage more, or is it because news is more accessible? But we see a lot of it now exposed. We hear every now and then. And there is how to say, it's like America is already bombarded with immigrants from all sides. Okay,
yeah.
now who do they doubt? They can't doubt or suspect each and everyone, and they can't even take action against each and everyone, because not all are doing what is happening, right? But they're all suffering together in America. So because of these few people who are causing chaos, who are causing all these kinds of I would it's almost like terrorism, violence, you very, very harsh violence. It's getting crazy out there. And of course, this is one reason why MAGA, how do we pronounce it? They're being more, how to say, um, strong on their stance on saying, they should just try to be within Americans and not depend on many other people from other countries.
Absolutely. I think that's, yeah, that's said right. And also, if I go ahead and if I talk about the Trump administration now, for the very first time, we have seen, because we have been, saying this and even boasting it, that Trump administration, if the one of the best thing is its loyalty. So, of course, it is loyalty, and people are completely, there's nothing against it. But, now we can see also that the far right group are having a little different point of view, and the policymaker, like business people, they're having a different point of view, like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. So now, we can see a difference of opinion within Trump's administration. So now there's also a question that whom Trump is going to support, or whom Trump is going to be in favor with. Is he going to support Elon Musk's strategy, or is he going to stick to the far right group's strategy? So, what do you think, Nepasa, that whom Trump is going to support in this?
Well, talking about Trump, he also wants to keep America first. But when it comes to America first, he wouldn't want America to, lose in any way. Whether you say, if you take the economy, the economic factor, I'm sure he won't want America to come down in any way. So that's why he came up with the merit based immigration. Um, and he has his own ways to keep America first. I think
Mhm.
said America first, not just Americans first. I guess so. I think okay. I think I'm going too deep into that,
No,
but.
no, but that's need to be said, and I think that's very important, and that's very obvious also that Trump is always in favor of Americans, and he has this thing, America first. So I think whatever suits America and whatever is going to benefit America, he's going to do that. And Trump also knows very well that if he's going to go against H-1B workers, then it's some on the other, harm the US economy, because
Mhm,
H-1B workers are contributing a massive amount in US economy. And that's been a very, great contribution, especially in tech industry. And if Elon Musk is one of the biggest business icon, is one of the inspiration for everyone. We all know him about Tesla and SpaceX, everything. So he's best in business mind. And if he is favoring H-1B workers, then I think that matters a lot, because he is actually understanding the deep root that what H-1B workers bring to US companies and US nation. So I think that's what, and as compared to far right group, they are more into nationalism. They are more into a bit conservativeness in their agendas. What they already put up on their for their party. So I think they are a bit conservative on this, whereas the other party, the other people of like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they are more broad. They have a bigger, broader opinion for this, because
mhm,
they know what's going to favor America in future. And
mhm,
yeah, I think that's why they are in favor. And Trump is also very smart, so he knows what's going to benefit America in future, in upcoming future. And
mhm,
with that, also, if America and India relations are being better, then I think what can be better than this? The relationship will also grow. It will favor our immigrants also, to go there and settle and to have a
mhm.
great life. So yeah, I think that would be one of the major thing that what Trump may have in the future for
Sure.
immigrants.
I was just going through some of the views from MAGA on the H-1B program. So, like we said earlier, prioritizing American workers. So they have been arguing, why import labor when skilled Americans can fill these roles. So that's one major issue. And, apart from that, we there's another thing, that is skepticism towards outsourcing and dependency. So the MAGA movement really criticizes the reliance on foreign talent. They see that it is as vulnerability that undermines the self-sufficiency of the U.S. economy. And here, what they have been arguing is America should train and employ its own rather than depend on others. That's another key argument that they have been putting forward. And then we have the populist and the protectionist economic policies. So, central to MAGA ideology is the belief of protecting US industries and jobs through policies that restrict immigration and foreign workforce programs. So H-1B visas, in their view, are often misused, to bring in workers for roles that do not require specialized skills, and contrary to the program's original intent, that is. So here they have been arguing, the system should not be exploited to fill low-cost positions at the expense of Americans. And this brings me back to your point earlier, which you said, where Indians are okay that they're getting paid lesser.
That's yeah.
So here is an argument which MAGA has been making, that why should the system exploit, and fill low cost positions and, at the expense of Americans. So it's
Hmm.
like Indians are the low cost positions. They can be paid more and get a lot more work done in that much price. So that has been the scene out there. And yeah. support, there's another point, and that is support for reforms over elimination. So these proposed reforms include increasing scrutiny on applications to prevent fraud. That's number one, because we have been seeing, just look at 2024, we had so many fraud activities with regard to H1B that we saw. And we also saw amendments to the H1B, right, where where it has become beneficiary centric, and there cannot be multiple applications for one person. We saw a lot of changes because there was too much fraudulent activities going on. And then we have restricting H1B visas to truly specialized roles, because yes, H1B, I think, they are supposed to give in jobs only only when they can prove that there is no American who can do that work, right?
Absolutely. I think I completely agree with this because, if we take it very normally, generally also. So, even in our nation also, if we have someone who is completely fulfilling that job, that role and responsibilities, then why are we going to take the other people? In fact, Nepasa, with this also reminds me the history of H1B workers. So, it happened somewhere. I don't exactly remember the date, but it happened years ago, and it happened only for this reason that there were some Americans, who weren't able to fulfill that specific job. So that's
Mhm.
why the H1B worker, that's why this H1B visa has
Yes,
released,
has
so that
come,
they
yeah.
can hire the foreign talents and, utilize them as much as they can. So I think this will remain the same, and that's what Trump is also looking ahead. And yeah, I think also Napasa, let's go ahead and read some of our viewers' comment
Sure, we
because
should.
they have commented. So I think, yeah, that would be great. So Sakshi is here, and she said that if Trump is standing with Indians now, does this mean there might be specific reforms to benefit H1B visa holders, or is it just talk with no concrete actions? This is a question that everyone is asking and everyone is concerned about. So, Sakshi, from my side, I think Trump will definitely keep America first, whatsoever anything happens. So he's going to see that if Americans are getting benefited from Indians or not, then only he's going to help Indians, and then only he is going to have some major reforms for the benefits of visa H1B visa holders. Otherwise, if the Americans are not getting much benefit with the H1B workers, then I don't think it will be some major reforms will be there for H1B. What do you think, Nabasa?
I think so also, but it's not like Trump is really, standing for Indians, or he's not been saying that out loud. It's only assumptions, right, Sakshi? He has been saying that let's go for merit-based programs, because he needs excellent workers, whether they are Americans or non-Americans, but he needs people who can be best at their job. So I think, let's keep it at that. And does it mean, okay, let's go on to her next comment. She's saying some critics argue that Trump's support for Indians is just a way to create division among immigrant communities. Do you think this could lead to tensions with other groups like Hispanics or Asians? Well, I'm sure everybody is concerned, because America is a land of immigrants. It's not just Indians out there. There are so many other Asians, there are Hispanics, there are Latin Americans, there are so many folks out there. They make America. And I'm sure this is creating tensions, not just for them, but also for Indians as well, who are there living in America, who have been planning to go to America. Probably they have their visa ready and everything ready, and just on the verge of going, but they don't know whether they should take the big step, the leap, or not. So I'm sure this tension is with all immigrants, not just Indians or Asians or Hispanics. Thank you, Sakshi, for commenting. And let's go on to our next. This is from Lokesh.
But
So,
before that, Nabasa, I would also like to say something to Sakshi's comment.
yes, sure. Yes.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, Sakshi, this the question that you have raised is very obvious, and we all are having this doubt. But what I think that Trump right now is not focusing much on the tensions to create between the nations. Rather, he is focusing more on his nation, and he is trying to make his nation number one, though it's
Absolutely.
already, but still, in terms of technology like China, in terms of other things also, he is trying to make his nation the best one as compared to the other nations. And if the question is that Trump is supporting Indians this only because to create divisions among immigrant communities, so I think why only Indians? So we can also see that the 70% of H1B workers from India are there in US. So this automatically understands a very great example that why 70% of H1B workers are in US. So with this we understand that it's not only about creating a division between the immigrants, but also there are some brilliant minds who needs to be in the US company. So we can also understand in this way also that instead of Trump is focusing on creating tensions between the nations, he actually wants the best mind, the talented one, talented skilled
Yeah.
laborers, skilled
Rather
workers.
than tension, probably he's just creating more competition. So
That's what.
the best
And I
will
think
anyway win.
that's nothing wrong, if Trump is
Yeah,
creating more competition, it's
exactly.
actually making a
Healthy
person or
competition.
absolutely, and that's how it should be.
Yes, agreed, totally. Let's go on
So
to Lokesh's comment now. You can take it, Sam.
sure. So, Lokesh is here, and Lokesh is saying that Donald Trump's prominent supporters are divided between MAGA and Dodge factions. Whilst Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy support H-1B visas and will lead the efficiency initiative, MAGA advocates Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer criticized them as wealthy tech executive disconnected from Trump supporters' interest. So yeah, I think we talked about it, but we haven't mentioned exactly about the MAGA advocates. So thank you so much, Lokesh, for letting us know about it and bringing this point up. So yeah, I think it's been divided between MAGA and Dodge factions, and I think this is a very rare time that we have seen a quite division in Trump's administration only. So
Mhm.
MAGA is fine being stick to their agenda, being stick to their principles, and that's
Mhm.
what good is. But Dodge is trying to be flexible, and Dodge knows what can make America great again, especially because tech industry is like a backbone to any nation. And if tech industries are not completely strong, not like unshaken, until then there's no nation who can be the best one. So that's what the Dodge faction know, and Elon Musk also know it very well. And I think Trump will also favor the H1B, as he already favored H1B workers for the very first time. And I think this is a quite a hint that we can see in the upcoming year. There will be more opportunities for H1B workers, and there will be a little leniency too for H1B workers, because without them, no tech industry is going to be as strong as how it is now. There are so many, like Sundar Pichai, also we can see, Google, Adobe, and what else? There are different companies also that has been Microsoft also. So these are like Indian Americans have founded, these major companies, and many billion-dollar startups also in the US were started by Indian entrepreneur. And if we also look at the contribution, then there is $250 to $300 billion to the economy each year that has been estimated or the contributed by Indian American community. So with this, Trump is very much aware of these factors, very much aware of these stats, and that's what he is going to be in favor of this. What do you think, Nipasa, on Lokesh comment?
Yes, totally. And what you've said, I agree with that, Sam. Very rightly said. But just one thing, maybe I don't know about H1B getting more lenient, but yes, there's certainly going to be a lot of competition, and only the best will be chosen. As it's mentioned, merit based is going to is what we're going to see in 2025. I think that is what a lot has been said, so we should expect more of that, not leniency, but more competitiveness and more, I think, merit based selection in the H1B
Hmm.
program. Then let's go on to Aishwarya Rai's comment. I don't know if this is the actress, but the same name, same spelling, I guess. So thank you, Aishwarya, for joining us. Um, she's saying Elon Musk called the H1B visa program broken and proposed reforms to address its misuse. He suggested raising minimum salaries and adding yearly costs for H1B holders to prioritize domestic hiring. I'm not sure how Trump is standing with Indians. Exactly what I was saying, it's not like Trump is standing for Indians really. And yes, but then yes, a lot of MAGA comments say that why not train and employ the Americans instead of hiring and depending on immigrants. So let's see what is going to happen. But yes, thank you so much. And with regard to Elon Musk calling the H1B visa program broken, I think we are going to see a lot of change. We have been hearing a lot of changes are going to come up, and let's wait for Trump to hit the office on the 20th of January, and I'm sure we will see more changes and clearer vision as to what 2025 is going to look like with regard to H1B. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, it's very a great thing to know that Elon Musk himself is claiming the H1B visa program is broken. So, this shows that maybe now
His
the H1
interest. Yeah.
is, yeah, going to have a better future ahead. Now also they
Yes.
have, but still there was some kind of differentiation between them and the actual American workers. So now I think there will be a better reformation will be there for the H1B workers. So
Yeah.
I will see more positive impacts. Challenges will be there, but with that, there will be positive impacts too for the H1B workers.
And I really hope, all sorts of fraudulent activities, especially with regard to visas, end somehow. There
Mm,
should be more transparency, and I'm hoping for that this year.
absolutely. Absolutely. And Napasa, please go ahead and read this comment
LinkedIn.
that we received
Yes, we
from.
have a LinkedIn user. I wish we knew the name. Could you tell us your name, please? I will read your comment saying, will any changes in H1B help or favor students who have done masters from reputed US universities? So, yeah, the OPT factor, Sam, would you like to take this?
Yeah, I think this is more like expert advice that we would like to address this to our attorneys. So I think it would be great, if we could get his name, and I think okay. So I think it's Jigger. So
Jigger J. Yeah.
Jigger J. Okay, so I think this is our very familiar user that we mostly get questions and comments. So thank you so much, Jigger, first of all, for being update and staying tuned with our Immigration and Job Stock Show channel. So as you are asking that, will there be any changes in H1B help or favor students who have done masters? So I don't have any idea regarding this, and
I
we
think it's
can't.
going to help, and we hear that there is going to be changes. One of them is like
Mhm.
instead of October, they will have time until, I mean, for OPT students, I guess, they're going to have time until April next year, right?
Mhm.
So I think that is good news because sometimes they, how to say, they get out of status, right? They have too less time to get into a job or, you know, what to do next. So they'll have additional, say, 4 to 6 months in hand to be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
So we are hearing a lot of changes coming up, Jigger. Thank you so much. And I'm certain that, changes in the H1B is going to help because this had the what has been happening so far is quite outdated. And we hear that there are going to be new changes and it's going to definitely benefit H1B applicants out there.
Absolutely. I think you have been a very positive, and we also have this positive thought for H1B workers. And I think, yeah, Jigger, we can expect good news for H1B workers and H1B applicants also. And yeah, I think with that, we would also like to take this comment further with our immigration attorneys with whom we have upcoming webinars also. So it would be great to take their suggestion for this because they give expert advice. So we would surely address this question to them and we'll also let you know. So thank you so much, Jigar. And in case if you still have any further comment or any further question or anything that you would like to share with us, then please go ahead and post it on the comment section. We are definitely going to take them up. And with that, we have already gone through these comments, and we also asked our viewers to call us on the number. So I would be happy, more than happy, if they could join us on call. And yeah, I think the number is displayed on the screen with the access code. So yeah, I think that would be great if anyone could join us on call and share anything. It's not just about specifically about today's topic, but anything about immigration. You're free to share all the information that you want to. So I think, yeah, and Nipasa, with this, we have already touched a lot of comments and we also have
Yeah.
talked a lot of different topics. So anything else that you would like to add on and let our viewers know about it?
I think we've discussed quite a bit, but the controversy and criticism is going to keep on happening. Whether Trump hits the office or not, because this is a major concern. I think, benefits of the H-1B program. This has been facing a lot of significant criticism for quite some time now. And opponents definitely argue that it allows companies also to exploit cheaper foreign labor. So I'm sure they're going to try to stop that from happening. They're going to be more strict to see that, if only they really require, they're going to hire folks from outside if they don't have any Americans uh, to be able to do that, to do those jobs. But we don't know the scene. I mean, to be super certain, to be 100% that only this is going to happen. So we will have to wait and watch. And yeah, the program's cap of 85,000 also creates intense competition, right? So yeah, tech jobs, dominated by Indian professionals is what we have been seeing quite a lot in the past. And uh, I think this is a shout out to all the Indians that they're going to face a lot of competition. So I think it's time to pull up your socks and try to be better. Your competition is going to be also you and many others who are probably better. Or if you are better, you have to be able to prove it. And yeah, even the recent selection of Sri Ramakrishnan, who's an Indian American, venture capitalist as an advisor on artificial intelligence in Trump's team. That we heard so much controversy on that too, right? I mean, critics
Absolutely.
also, yeah, they labeled that his appointment as evidence of foreign influence on U.S. immigration policies. But is that really so?
Absolutely. And I think it's almost time, but let's have a good conclusion of today's topic that we understood from our today's session. And I think, yeah, at the end, I would just like to say that this time we have seen Trump's shift in attitude, and this actually raises a very big question about what's next for US, and most of the
Mhm.
immigrants are especially concerned about this thing because they are not able to predict Trump. And as always, Trump is completely unpredictable, so we can't say that if if we expected this thing from Trump, then he's going to follow this thing in the upcoming years as well. So I think that's how it should be. You should keep on adapting the changes as you go ahead moving in years. And also the question is that will the country continues to welcome skilled immigrants, or are they going to have more restriction? It's still a question, and until and unless Trump himself answers this, we are not able to understand this question. So this is not just a question, about immigration, but it's also about America's future that is going to rapidly change in the global economy. So, Trump's support for Indian workers show also that how complex immigration politics have become. And yeah, I think Trump's is supporting for Indian immigrants in the H-1B debate, is kind of a strategic decision also that balances economic needs with political goals. And I think there's nothing bad about it because that's how a leader should be. He should know how to take decisions and how to balance the economic needs also with the political goals. So I think he is great in that. And some of his supporters are liking this shift, but some on the other, the one who is not very much into favor of him, they think that the it's not going to favor America in the future. So this is kind of like wrap up from my end, concluding lines from my end. And Nabasa, what would you like to say to our viewers? Last message or concluding line?
I mean, yes, talk about Trump's recent comments and appointments. They really suggest, a potentially transformative approach to the H-1B visa program. That is for sure, and the but then the administration really faces the daunting task. So how are they going to balance the competition? How are they going to prioritize, whether it's domestic workforce concerns or supporting critical industries or even maintaining the global competitiveness? So I think the decisions that are going to be made in the upcoming months are going to be very, very critical, and it's not only going to shape the future of the H-1B program, but it's also going to set the tone, for broader US immigration policy under the Trump administration. So just a few days left for Trump to come to join office. And I'm sure we are going to see a lot more in this. We are going to discover more. We're going to explore what is going to happen. And for that, please do not forget to subscribe to us, stay with us, because here's where we keep having these interesting discussions and conversations. And not just that, we have expert attorneys, who come and discuss on the latest updates and give us more information, detailed information. So yeah, don't forget to hit the bell icon so that whenever we have discussions like these, you are also notified. And yeah, stay with us because we have great updates for you here on our channel. And we are not only on YouTube, but also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on Twitter as well. So follow us, subscribe to us, stay with us. And yeah, you can write to us if you have questions, and maybe we could not address or give you a proper answer. We would like to take them up to our attorneys. So you can mail us or you can send me a WhatsApp message on this number. My number is 408-335-6444, and my email address is nipa@staffingly.com. So thank you so much for joining us today. And yes, you can also email sam@staffingly.com. And we would love to take your questions, to our respected attorneys who will join us on various webinars on our channel. So thank you once again. And here's wishing all you folks out there a very, very happy new year ahead. 2025 should be great, in all aspects of your life. So all the very best from all of us here at Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, folks.